Hello, YouTube. Welcome back into another episode of Wrath of the Righteous. Today, we're going to go until we finish the game. So make sure you hit like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and we're going to finish the game today. So even if we have to play for 8 hours, as I said in the chat, we're finishing this game today. So, let's jump into it. We're going to take a quick nap because some people are tired, it seems, including myself. And we're going to stick with it, basically.
Darren, I can't understand why blood makes some mortals better than others. What do a person's origins have to do with their worth?
Some people's ancestors simply had sharper elbows and better luck than others. And they codified a system whereby they and their descendants would rule over.
So let's get to it then. Hopefully we have minimal issues with microphone and stuff like that today. We shall see, but I'm going to hope that we have a good stream with minimal issues, because I believe the only thing we have left to do now is the actual final mission, because we've done everything else, I think. We've done all the companion quests. Let's see, J. There we go. There's the crusade aspects, but honestly, whatever. So now we want to head to Threshold, and there's two places where we can probably approach Threshold from. Either here or here from the last barrier. So we teleport to the Castle of Bastion Desires. And then we go down this way. Aha. Yes, we can. Alright. Let's do it. We're entering Threshold. This is the end game now.
After breaking the blockade of the demon armies and defeating Discari, the Crusade forces close in on the Threshold Fortress. The place where 100 years ago, the first rift between the planes was opened. The place where this story will end.
Oh, it's this dude. Yeah, we failed that one because we didn't get all of the crusade aspects to maximum. That's Hull Run. Isn't it? It is. Oh, perfect. Why didn't that work? That's frustrating. That wasn't the smartest decision you could ever make. It would work this time. Yes. Nicely done. Launch the final assault on the Threshold Fortress. Hey, Holrun, you're alive, I see. I wonder who else we'll find around here. Oh, these are the mongrels. That's Chief Skull there. I don't recognize that person. Oh, that's Irabeth and her wife. Oh, that's CR, yeah. Okay. I don't know why Darian always ends up shaken at the start of every combat. Hey, Chief. Irabeth. Avina. That looks like a way forward. Or maybe this is here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. I want to give everyone their flowers. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Who else is there to run into now, I wonder? Oh, it's these two. The storyteller's here. God damn. Didn't expect him to show up.
I will resist.
Here he is, though, I guess. Everyone went down except for the storyteller.
Prepare yourself.
That's kind of funny in a way. He's a level 20 wizard. Storyteller throwing around level 20 spells like it's his goddamn job. Oh, that's Arsene, I want to say, the cleric lady. I think it's Arsene or Arsone, something like that.
Condition is irrational.
Now. We're on the move again. Nothing here. This is where the the general dude whose ass we've been kicking this whole game is. Oh, it's Trendelev and Hal. That's cool. At least I think it's Trendelev and Hal. Halisax, yeah, it's Halisax and Trendelev. Where is Trendelev on this list? I do not see her. Oh, there she is. She's neutral evil, but I think that's only because of the fact that she's technically undead, which is interesting. Everyone's terrified of her. Including Halisax, it seems. Let's see. Ooh, big damage.
I'll remove this obstacle.
I will see to your demise.
To the fray!
I need to get some healing done once we that's the main door. Once we finish up with this fight, because that guy keeps running. There's no way you're within 100 feet of him, right? No. You might be able to shoot out of though. No. Quick cheeky 40 damage. That'll help. Rune should be able to take him out at this range, I think. Maybe. Nope. Probably a visual thing more than it is a range thing at this point. Who's this?
A dear guest
Oh.
on my doorstep. Please do come in. You have been long or nothing at all. We will talk. The path to your souls and the world womb's healing demands my death. The accursed threshold prison where everything began must be where everything comes to an end. So I invite you in once again. Cross this threshold.
All right. Well, before we do that, we need to heal a little bit. Oh, it's just me. Where's Trend? I wanted to talk to Trendalev and Hal before we. Oh, there's Trendalev. Where's Halisax?
Commander, you promised us victory when it seemed impossible, and you did not let us down. Doing the impossible is your specialty. You have led us here, to the very gates of the enemy's lair.
You're so good at toppling fortresses by now, you can almost keep time by it. The Grey Garrison, Dresden, and now Threshold. So are we coming up on noon? Of course. It was a long time ago now, but it's not the kind of thing you forget.
It was unforgettable. That
We have a chance. Personally, I'm going to be doing a big pile of nothing. For a month. Or maybe 2. Hire Beth, too. We...
whatever you said. We've waited.
Lead on.
Hey, the storyteller's here. Hey, Chief. No sign of Halisax. Greybor, Nino, Callum. That was my banner. Yeah, no sign of Halisax. That's weird.
Chief, is there any chance, even a tiny one, that we can just, before, I would have just made a run for it. But I can't do that now. Something is... If you want to send me to the front line, I ain't going. So don't even try that hero stuff on me. I'm gonna fight because I don't want to die. And because either way, whether you win or lose, fine, Chief. After this battle, I'll never set foot on Galerion again. But in the end, despite all the dangers, I can still get you my wares even from here.
Not a bad spot to end this war. Formidable, menacing. It has a certain style about it.
A man after my own taste.
Seeing as our contract is coming to an end, Commander, let me just say that you are the most impressive client I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And a highly lucrative pleasure it's been, too.
One moment. Sorry about that.
It's strong stuff from Garand. What do you think? Of course, it's worth its weight in gold. It's one of my little weaknesses that I refuse to give up. Of course not. Where else would I have had so many adventures? Besides, it's thanks to you that I've been able to add so many accomplishments to my service record, which will boost my rates in the future. You know, it's jobs like this, the ones that are both fun and pay well, that make me love what I do. Huh. Well, it sure wasn't in the name of Iomade. Of course, money's not the be-all and end-all. You dimwits need someone with a clear head on your side. Someone to watch your back. I know how you... Now you're talking. Why don't you show me who it is we need to kill to win this war?
This is it. The last fortress. It's been up. The Redeemed Knights say they need me. I think they can manage fine without me, but nobody is ready. It will be scary. Very scary. In the last nobody knows what will happen next. people are hear that, Soot? It's time.
Hey, Nino.
I am calculating the likelihood of your victory, taking into consideration the fortifications of Thresh. Of course, the presence of an illustrious scholar of Golarion in your ranks, meaning me. Fear is an unproductive emotion that typically gets in the way of a good experiment. And I've never indicated that I do not If you win, I'll make sure to mention you in my encyclopedia. Aha! With that as an incentive, you're...
There it is. The citadel of the demon army. You know, I expected it to be formidable and fearsome. Something that would make me quake in terror. But now that I am standing at its gates, you know, I went to war in my brother's footsteps. He was the one who inspired me to fight against the Abyss. I will go home to Endoran. I will lay down my weapon and never pick up another so long as I live. Save a knife for cutting grapevines. I will serve the goddess in our old temple. And when the peasant children come to pepper me with questions about the crusade, I will do my utmost to make sure that my stories give none the idea that there is anything beautiful or romantic about war.
That's a smart man.
I had to. If I had a choice, I probably would have stayed the same naive little boy I was before the war. The boy who had never killed, who had never been to the Abyss, who had never buried those with whom he had sat around a campfire only the night before. Even so, pride is known as a mortal sin for good reason. It was pride that propelled my brother to join the crusade in search of glory. And look how that... Ready!
At last, this irksome crusade is drawing to a close. All right. It hasn't been that. The most important outcome of today, of course, will be that I shall be immortalized in works of... Perhaps I should reconsider. And
To the victory feast? I mean, he's not wrong. Hey, old break.
This is it then. Threshold. Grubby little spot, isn't it? Looking around, I'm thinking to myself, maybe if we'd built it somewhere else, not in this god's forsaken hole, somewhere nicer. But anyway, what's the use in wondering? Well, War Chief, but then, what would we have done with all the witches and mages? Maybe you're right. If we didn't bother them, they wouldn't bother us. And then, if you think about it, mages aren't the problem. Problem's them Oglins and Fae that were chomping at the bit to get into our world. Without Aurilu, Discari, that dirty bug, we've just found... Still not long enough for me to know the difference between all the kinds of foul creatures. Remembering their names isn't my job. What am I not going to do? That's the easier question. In war, there's only... I think I'll head to Gundren. After all their hardships, they could do... Right!
We'll talk to Arun last.
Hey, well, are we gonna stick it to the demons one last time? I haven't had time to think about it. All of my thoughts are focused on the coming battle. But I think I'll stay here a while, help the world to return to a life of peace and catch any demons that aren't dead yet. Back at you, friend. So, are we going to crush...
There it is. The heart of the wound. The source of all the evil that has been wrought here over the last 100 years. It all began here. And we will end it here. The world isn't fair. Thousands of innocent mortals perished during this invasion. But it was also the catalyst for one demoness's discovery of goodness and love. This may merely be a quirk of fate, but it means that our happiness together has come at a horrifying cost. Today, I know I actually pity them. If only I could have shown them what I feel. If only I could have shared this goodness, this tenderness with them. I'm sure they would have started. I did not do it alone. You have led your army to victory, and me, it's not about guilt. It's just that I am ashamed to take any joy in my freedom, knowing that this terrible war was the cause of it. You know what?
Me. What are you gonna do after we win? You know what? That's me. She means me. She's going to do me after we win.
I am ready.
I love me a woman with some confidence. Is there anything I want to change in the party loadout? No, I don't think so. Yep, great answer. Yeah. There's Terendelev. Nocticula.
Guide my hand!
Oh, Darian failed his save. He got knocked all the way back. Poor Darian. Knocked flat in his ass.
Make your peace.
Precision and grace.
Useful to you.
Who's this? Oh, it's our Tiefling kid.
I will resist.
It's the kid we saved. I think one of us failed to check or save there.
Mind over muscle.
Hello. Found some more elven notes. There we go. Back to full health. Oh, so the pages we've been collecting are pages from his notebook. I see. Accept the knowledge. Time to get back inside. I thought that was a ward stone for a second. Oh, we're going up. Kind of. What are people doing so far behind is a bit of an odd one.
Inheritor, guide my blade.
Man, this place is a shithole. Property values around here must be fucking through the floor, man.
Desna, guide my hand.
You should have listened to reason.
This fight's taking forever.
I'll make short work of this.
There we go, finally. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's seal it with a greater restoration. Get Ulbrich with a greater restoration. Go. Now you're going to give me a minute. I'll be right back. Hello, folks. We're back. Now everyone's healed up and we're good to go. Oh no, Midnight and Sly are not healed up.
Rules are made to be broken.
I mean, this was a prison, right? So this kind of makes some sense. What the fuck is this? Is there no other places to go? No. So this is our... We have to do this, I guess. Why does this guy look like War from Darksiders?
Make your peace.
He has 72 AC. That's fabulous, is what that is. I'm sorry, I didn't reach the microphone in time. Apologies for that. Oh my god. There has to be something in here I can use against this guy. Thank you, Red. The fuck? Her son. She was trying to bring back her son. There she is.
Can't be dismissed as a calculation error. You knew failure was a possibility. Then why? Why? Yes, it's decided. I will tell you the truth before we fight to the death. Would you like to know why This place is my demi-plane. I created it when I was a prisoner in Threshold. I would slip away to conduct my rituals here in secret. This is where I decided to create what mortals would later call the World Wound. This is where I made all my preparations. Some believe that I brought Sarkoris to ruin out of revenge, and I suppose there is some truth to that. I did have reason. My laboratory. The old house in the middle of nowhere that marked the entrance to my lab. It was the home of Arilu Vorlesh when I was still a mere mortal. I lived there with my son, away from the din of the crowd, and sheltered from the keen gaze of the Sarkorian witch hunters. It was a place where the reality of our world. I thought I had hidden my home well, but I was wrong. They found it. They found us. At that hour, I was there, in the laboratory. That damned laboratory I loved so much. I was absorbed in one of my experiments when the hunters arrived on our doorstep. Because they saw him with a scroll that he had secretly borrowed from my supply. He was trying to perform a forbidden ritual. Children, they are always drawn to the unknown. I am not concerned with whether it was justified or not. Look around you. This demi-plane. The first time I escaped from my cell and ran here, I was trying to resurrect my son. And when I realized that, I rebelled. But not against my jailers. Not against those who had murdered my child. Not even against Sarkoris. My uprising was against destiny. Death, and the laws that the gods had forced upon our lives. I realized then that I wouldn't be satisfied with simply returning my son to life. I had to shatter this order once and for all, and make it so that neither. And with this newfound purpose, I turned myself into a half-demon. Fusing the spiritual essence of the two planes was the only way I could achieve my goal. I let the abyss into my soul, and into this world. I opened the world wound. And then I found you. I chose you because I felt a faint affinity to you. I thought your soul could accept the remains of my son's soul, like the soil takes a seed.
You get it? You do get it? I mean, a lot of the times villains are the heroes of their own story. And Arilu lost her son, and when she tried to bring him back, like most people probably would have done if they had any kind of magical acumen or the money to do so, and discovered that they couldn't, she rightfully used her powers to attempt to get her payback.
I thought I could bring back my child by tethering the mangled remnants of his soul to a pure mortal soul untouched by the abyss. I thought the power of the Nahindrian crystals would allow me to protect him forever. That I could tear him away from the dominion of mortal nature. But I was mistaken in both assumptions.
Yeah. So we are... Oh, we've got our max level of our mythic path, I guess. So I'm technically Arish Varlu's son's soul melded to mine. I am two persons' soul in one body, I guess.
Killing is what I was made for.
Into the fray!
I'm a tiefling angel dragon with a spare soul. Correct. That sounds about right.
Guide my hand!
Out of my sight! Oh, thank you for amusing me.
We are now max tier mythic, I believe. We're now immune to cold, to fire, electric, and ice. We can no longer be energy drained. All of my spells and abilities become empowered and maximized. Any spells dealing damage now change their dice to D10 if it was not D10 or greater. Jesus. We got Dragon Swarm 3, which means we can summon one huge silver dragon. And Dragon Storm. Silver stars fall from the sky, dooming your enemies. Deals 2d12 damage per caster level to all enemies. So that would be... what's my caster level? I actually don't know. I don't know if it's on the page here somewhere, but it probably is. I just can't see it. Oh, it's here. We're like level 18 or 20, I think. Caster level at this point. Let me check. Mythic rank 10. We are caster level 20 Golden Dragon. So that means that it does per caster level, so that is 20 by 2 is 40. So that's 40 d12 damage. You would hate to be the DM for this character. I mean, the whole point of Mythic is that you're supposed to be like, you're supposed to throw wild, mad shit at people. So not only does my breath do maximized damage, it also has a really high save DC. Good lord.
You should not have come here. I, Arilu Vorlesh, Karamzadeh, I will give you the chance to avenge your...
Curse you, mortal scum. You...
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Oh, it's our remaining characters. Oh, that's cool. Well, thankfully we still do have Trendlev around.
Time yet.
This is going to suck.
Survived worse. Simply business.
Retreat.
We might be a little fucked. There's one down. Two down. God, if it wasn't for the fact that we brought Trendlev back from the brink of chaos, we'd be so fucked right now. Unfuck yourself then. I mean, I'm doing my best, right? When did I last save? The last time that it saved would have been just as this fight started, because it would have been auto-saved. Acid, cold, and fire. That might help. If we have another fight outside, we very well might lose that fight, to be honest. Everyone might die. We only made it through that fight because we had Terendelev to help out.
Again, mortal. I intruded into the sanctum of your allies, and then you intruded into my home and temple. But at last, we stand face to face in Threshold. You have changed since our last encounter. Was the angelic light... Master is in the abyss, in his realm. No, I'm not... He lost to you. He lost. The great Discari himself lost to a mortal.
Ooh, that's chunky.
Make your peace.
Sorry, I was just checking my CPU temps. They look fine.
We meet again. You have changed. No.
Okay, didn't get a lag spike that time. Oh, I knocked him flat in his ass. $351 damage. That'll do it, because it's maximized. So it's 25d8 times 1.5 is equal to 500. Is equal to 300 maximized. It's also empowered, so it's times 1.5 instead of times 1. And then the 10d8 is equal to 51 from the empowered breath. So, goddamn, we just killed the Echo of Discari. In like, what was that? Like, less than 3 seconds total. I mean, to be fair, for some people 3 seconds is a long time. So, you know. Did I clean my PC? I did not, because I ended up in a position where I had to wait like 6 hours for my video to upload yesterday. There's something really weird going on with my internet. I don't know. But if we finish this today, what I might do is I might just well, when we finish this today, I'll probably just go ahead and clean the PC this evening instead of uploading the video, and I'll do that tomorrow morning instead. That's pretty looking. Oh, there's a Rilu.
This is where it happened. It was here that I conducted the ritual, sewing my soul and the essence of the abyss together, feeling the world change around me as every stitch brought Galarian closer to the abyss. And it was here a researcher must not have any personal feelings for the subjects of their experiments. And yet, a researcher must be particularly resilient in the face of mistakes, incorrect hypotheses, and failed experiments. You are my failed experiment. You're so adept at magic. Of course, I've been preparing for our meeting. And hopefully I've prepared well. Yes. And no. Even if I could have brought back my son, I wanted to become stronger. You have seen a goddess. You have been face to face with demon lords. Were you awed by their greatness? Do you enjoy living in a world where your entire life cycle has been predetermined? How strange. You are a kindred spirit. We are so alike. Perhaps the experiment wasn't... When I poured what was left of my son's soul into your soul, I was expecting it to bring him back. They say death and the judgment of Pharasma purges the soul of everything it once was in life. But this cat... I watched you day and night, waiting for it to happen. For your memory to awaken, or if a hypothesis is proven wrong, it needs to be rejected. But it will kill me eventually. But I still have some time left. Years, or decades. The tearing of the soul, followed by a cruel and terrible death. And it's finally time to end all this. What are you talking about? Death is not the end. I've spent 100 years trying to prove it, and I promise.
This is going to be interesting.
I will resist.
Everyone has all their spells back, I just noticed. Oh, hi. That saves me some hassle, I guess. Responsible for the creation of my most powerful enemy.
I've been waiting for you to get distracted so I can stab you in the back.
How very perceptive. But you didn't think I would make it easy, did you? I won't let you win. You need me alive. You want to use me to close the wound. You're right. I won't gain anything from this. You are stronger than I could have anticipated. As your creator, I should be proud to be defeated by the one I have imbued with power. Is there any higher praise? But I'm tired. You won't hear me pleading. Let us finish this experiment here and now. More talk of reconciliation and change. And you expect me to listen? To just...
Are you certain about that? Everyone will be so sad if you don't sacrifice yourself to close the wound. Most Arilu as a sacrifice will suit me just as...
Stop, Lady in Shadow. I know you are willing to stab the commander in the back and sacrifice him to the wound if necessary. I do not intend to let that happen. I will not, however, protect Arilu Vorlesh.
Oh. I'll defend Arilu if I have to, and I won't change my decision. The world wound stays, and I'll be its guardian. Take Arilu.
As always, I had to do everything myself. See, things are great. You're alive. The wound is healing. We all have wonderful lives ahead of us.
I wasn't going to sacrifice the rest of my life to do it. She's killed millions, well, maybe not millions, but hundreds of thousands, maybe tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, at least. Because of Socorus and everything else, and she's also caused, like, thousands of deaths through it all. So, you know what, I think her atoning for her actions by being sacrificed or sacrificing herself, as I will tell the story, is a good thing. Life and death, destiny and great deeds, answers to mysteries, a search for one's true path. The mind can comprehend all of these, and then such concepts can be written down as a sequence of formulas, a sequence of lines, a chain of thought. Still, a moment always comes when it is time to wrap up, to reach a conclusion, to put a period at the end of the last sentence. The impossible rift, the bleeding wound that had tormented all of Golarion for 100 years, has finally healed. The life and soul of one who was inflicted the wound upon the world became the salve. With the death of the witch Arilu Vorlesh, the war wound she crafted vanished as well. After the Battle of Threshold, the commander did not stay long in the lands where the Fifth Crusade had been waged. A new destiny and a new journey awaited him. The lands of the former Sarkoris became a place of refuge for many dragons. They settled in its mountains, ruined bastions, and numerous gorges. Pilgrims would come from all over to seek their wisdom. The dragon Halisax grew estranged from the affairs of simple mortals. He flew to an unapproachable mountaintop not far from Dresden, so as to not be bothered with trivial matters while still being able to observe from a distance and, if need be, come to the mortal's aid once again. Even death could not stop Trendalev from being a protector of mortal kind, and even though she could not go to Kanarbris, she would often circle over the city and its environs, keeping travellers safe from any harm. No one knew for certain where the dragon Salvarius disappeared to, but there were rumours that he'd been spotted flying west toward Versaria and beyond, across the ocean. Perhaps he's somewhere in Arcadia or Tianxia, now living a new life under a new name. As leader of the Crusaders, the commander won their loyalty and obedience. Even in the Crusaders' darkest hours, the commander found ways to restore the Allies' supply lines. His military acumen was beyond question. Under his leadership, the divided, poorly trained Crusader force was reforged into an invincible army. You achieved impressive progress in the Crusade areas of leadership, logistics, and military. Due to the success of the commander's diplomatic strategy, by the end of the war, Mendev's true political center was Dresden, not Murison. After gaining the support of the foreign rulers and finding allies in the capital, Dresden became the shining example of the new Mendev, one that was nurtured by the commander's ideas. The significance and accomplishments of the crusade were so great that even a century after the end of the war, Dresden retained its prominence on the map of Astavan. The commander's diplomatic, military, and administrative talent turned the fortress into a key political player. Queen Galfrey died, leaving no direct heir. Mendev society is soon mired in political plots and petty power struggles, subject to an ever-changing cast of rulers and pretenders to the throne. But none were able to win the love of the people or achieve the level of national unity for which Mendev had been renowned for during the reign of Queen Galfrey. Quite a few Mendevians wanted to see Darian Andrian inherit the throne. Upon his return to Kanarbris, Holroon ranted and raged against those who had been governing the city in his absence, but contrary to all expectations, Holroon's Inquisition were far less vicious than in past days. It seemed the times he had spent fighting in the Fifth Crusade had tempered him somewhat. The chain of wardstones stood as the border to form of war woundeds before the angels inside them slowly drifted off into slumber to wake again should evil ever rear its head in these lands. Hello, Nocticula. The victory over the war wound changed many things, not just on Golarion but in the Midnight Isles as well. Nocticula spent many days pondering the words of a certain young and fearless prophet. Before long, the Lady in Shadow openly renounced her realm and named herself the Redeemer Queen. There you go, Cody. This revolt against her own demonic nature transformed Nocticula, severing her ties with the Abyss and brought her to Elysium. There, upon creating a realm named the Midnight Palette, the Redeemer Queen attained divine power and became the patroness of exiles. The new vacant throne was instantly seized by Shamron, the Ardent Dream. However, her power could not compare to the might of Lady in Shadow. The Midnight Isles, which had become a tempting prize for many demons, was plunged into chaos. The commander celebrated his victory over Arishigal. Little did he know that some demon lords go as far as forfeiting their own life to achieve their ends. The mask of the inscrutable Arishigal remained in the possession of the commander of the Fifth Crusade until the very end. He refused to or could not find the strength to discard that sinister item, and shortly after the Battle of Threshold he began disappearing for days at a time and slowly returning, unable to recall what happened to him. The Demon Lord Baphomet suffered a defeat, the war wound was closed, and the convenient passage to Golarion was sealed along with it. Baphomet shifted his attention to the realms of the other Demon Lords. A cell of the Ivory Labyrinth soon discovered in Alusharinia. The Demon Lord Discari suffered a defeat. He bided his time, continuing to plot his invasion of Golarion after that of heaven itself. The cultists that remained on Golarion went mad one after another, tortured by the nightmarish dreams the Lord sent them. The commander's escapade in Arushahaya left a lasting impression on its denizens. Under Zelek's management, the battle blitz gradually fell into decline. Audience had grown bored of ordinary gladiator fights, and the Nahendrian League closed due to lack of members. Realizing that his talents as an area steward would never be appreciated in the Abyss, Zelek sold the battle blitz and used the proceeds to relocate to Hell, where he finally found a new home. The unrelenting killer and vigilante known as Red Mask continued her purge of Arushaya and assembled a full squad of Aasimar assassins. Demons enjoyed listening to stories of their bloody exploits, that is, until the assassins came to collect their heads. The place where the commander's camp once stood became a symbol of freedom for runaway slaves in the Abyss. They flocked to the Nexus by the hundreds and erected a real fortress which held out against several assaults against the slavers. Ysmeria was true to her word. The Winter Sun clan left the lands of their ancestors. Once they had left the borders of the former Sarkorians, the clan split into several branches. One went to the wildlands of Numeria, others set off for free Versyria. A small group led by Gershia chose to travel to Andoran, where they were lost among the many refugees fleeing other lands under wars. The Winter Sun clan ceased to be. Aww. The Tyr Blades were adamant about retiring from military service, leaving it all behind and escaping together, but urgent Eagle Watch business forced them to stay for a week, then for a month, then for many years. Even as Avina cursed their lot, however, her eyes would shine with pride, for she was always the first to admit Irbeth was not the kind of person to just up and retire. The Dreadstone's Suture never made peace with the loss of his mistress. He retreated to our old laboratory where he wandered the empty halls, activating the magic projectors again and again. For in their pale light there still lived an image of the one who had become so important to the solitary demon. The abyssal boy named Zorgus had intended to leave the material plane, but a conversation with the commander after victory in the war wound caused him to change his mind. The details of his conversation are unknown, but a week later Zorgus knocked on the door of the Pathfinder Society Grand Lodge and accepted into the society as a ward, beginning of the long, adventurous saga. The command's decision to destroy the Numerian device that had captured the Blackwater clan encampment had dire consequences. Freed the mechanism that inhabited and controlled the mysterious core of the device soon awakened and vanished into a flashing light of energy. Within weeks, Numerian hunters began to tell tales of a strange construct that they encountered in the mountains. Skeleton of a machine, alien and incomprehensible. Having rediscovered his own story, the storyteller renounced his fragile body to ascend to Pharasma's palace and become her usher. From that day onward, he took great care of the stories of all the souls that arrived in the court of Lady of Graves. There, in the halls of Lady of Graves, storyteller met the one who'd been waiting for him. Kini, thief of secrets, Arishtagal's prisoner, old friend, and well-meaning traveller. And never was her union more treasured. Oh. Finian, a Pathfinder who happened to be talking a weapon, continued his travels in the hands of many warriors, seasoned and otherwise. Throughout the following centuries, he was lost in battle on a number of occasions, only found again in some fantastical treasure room on the other side of Golarion. Gotta love Finian. Once again, Seela felt the call of the open road, even after gaining mythic powers and coming face to face with the goddess and demon lords. She never stopped being a paladin and wandering knight whose purpose was to help others. Staying true to friends was in Seela's blood, and it said that even when journeying through to the furthest reach of Golarion, she tried her best to keep in touch with the commander. Their rare meetings were always filled with joy. Aww. Having properly fulfilled his duty to the Mongols and to his surprise avoided death, Lan was suddenly faced with a choice. What to do with his life now that he wasn't going to end anytime soon. His hesitation did not last long. And just a few months later, he went on a sea voyage to see what the world he had saved. Fairy tales and drinking songs often mentioned Lan and the commander going on sea adventures together. But whether that was fact or fiction, no one can say. But the first place Lan visited, however, was near Sion. He visited his mother and stayed with her until the road called for him once again. Ember joined the Redeemed Brotherhood. She never recognized herself as their leader or gave any orders, but her presence inspired. Over time, the Brotherhood grew into a major religious movement. Its preachers took on a vow of poverty and walked the roads of Golarion, helping the needy, convincing villains to change their ways, and entreating both good and evil deities to be more merciful to mortal kind. Soon after the war, the tireless researcher of all things researchable embarked on a new journey. She had a sudden urge to know how much time it would take to visit every nation on Golarion. She returned after a year and a half with a pile of notes, which she promptly handed over to her assistant. After all, everyone had to help her compile the entries of the first volume of the Encyclopedia Golarianica. It only made sense for her assistant to help, given that one of the entries was dedicated to him, the commander of the Griff Crusade who had made Golarion history. Urbreg. After defeating the demon that had laid waste to his country, Urbreg concentrated his efforts to Gundrum, its only remnant. He helped Ysena Kenare to govern the settlement, instructing her and the townsfolk in the ancient lore of Sakarian rites and customs. His visits to the tavern to share beer with the commoners dwindled, and he more readily accepted their worship, donning a mantle of a god walking among men. Under the guise of two living deities, Gundrum became an isolated fragment of the past, jealously guarding away its life. One day, Lan decided to visit his old friend and see what the tribe was doing. Despite the warm welcome he received, the Mongol did not stay long in Gundrum, and he never visited again. In response to all the questions, he simply frowned and said he wanted to see his friend. Instead, he found a self-important idol. Daron Andre embraced his new life, one that was free of the other. He became more mature, his smile grew colder, and his choice of diversions more elaborate. And he acquired an imperious streak. Woljeef was not tempted by the laurels of a war hero, for his true heritage awaited him in the abyss. The former Tiefling went to Arishai to claim what was his by right. Became the best fence and fixer in the city. Solstil returned home. Now a Frank Crusader hero, he humbly officiated a temple of Shaylin, painted, grew sweet-smelling fruits, and made the best wine in the region. He grew irritable. Rarely small, and when he asked to recount his experience in the war, he would sometimes lose his temper. Although, when he calmed down, he would always apologize. People took great pains not to mention Trevor's name in his presence. During the war, Solstil met an engineer by the name of Aaron Keir. That meeting turned into a friendship, but turned into love. And by the time of the wedding, later the cleric would say that only the memory of his beloved was allowed him to cope with the terrors of the abyss and kept his sanity. The commander was among those involved in the wedding. Having received an invitation to the wedding, Sela was torn about whether or not she was attend. She felt her appearance at her friend's wedding would be a bad omen. In the end, she overcame her fears, and it was well worth it. The war changed Greybor. He left the assassin's craft behind and embarked on the search for his family. It took years to win their love again, but he'd never been one to back down from a fight, and so he won that battle as well. Greybor hung his axes above the fireplace and became an upstanding citizen. The transformation was difficult for him. Many a time he would reminisce about the days of his daring youth. Still, there was one joy in family life that the dwarf would have not traded for anything else in the world. His daughter, Mora. She grew up to be an exceptional warrior, and watching her train brought Greybor true happiness. Arun Shahale had changed her nature, completely ridding herself of evil, but she could not dare to live among mortals. She took up residence in a small house away from other settlements. Shortly afterwards, rumours began to spread that said some kind of sorceress living in a college, or perhaps a reclusive saint. She would come asking for help. She would never refuse anyone. In time, she earned her trust and friendship. Another of the commander's companions, Sela the paladin, visited her sister in arms a number of occasions to share tales of her latest adventures. The meetings were always joyful and the conversations long and heartfelt. When the former demon was not busy helping Mordor, she spent time with the commander, who often visited her in her house. They had nothing to hide or be ashamed of, and yet, in her shyness, Arun tried to conceal the relationship from prying eyes. Have a great afternoon. Thanks, Red. This is our Elysium, she would say. Yours and mine, and no one else needs to know about us. Who the fuck?
And what of me, the writer of these words? The half-demon witch known as the architect of the world wound. I was defeated and fell at the hand of the one I had tried to transform. I have recounted the story of my life for you, Pharasma.
Oh, this is Pharasma.
Not only of my life, but of the commander's old. Now you know everything.
The laws of the universe have existed for millennia. They are incontrovertible, but even they allow the decider of fate some degree of influence over the verdict. You wrought great evil, while it stemmed from the evil that was done to you. Your actions and yet, the one whom you harmed most of all now appeals to me on your behalf. I shall send you to the Maelstrom, the plane on the edge of the world. A place to which the gods' gazes do not stray. There you will find yourself. Or you will perish in the whirlwind of chaos that is your soul. So be it.
Seems fair to me.
The mortal who has risen so high as to stand boldly in the presence of the goddess of fate. You have done the impossible.
The end. That was great. That very well might be one of my favorite games I've ever played. With that, folks, I would like to bid you all a good day. It's only been about 2 hours, but you know what? I think as a finale, I think 2 hours is perfectly fine. That was great fun. Maybe I'll play this again in the future. Maybe I'll do a shorter playthrough where I play through the bits that I missed out. Maybe I'll do the full Angel playthrough. Maybe I'll do a Nazata playthrough. Who knows? But with that, folks, we are finished for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We will be returning next week with Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. So look forward to that, folks. Make sure you hit like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. And with that, goodbye.